All right, Nick, let's talk about the Detroit Lions' big week 1 game against the Los Angeles Rams. Kind of a rivalry match, coming back with Matt Stafford a little bit there. But I think there's some really good news favoring the Lions in this matchup. I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. Right, Nick, as I alluded to, big game, Rams versus Lions, but I think there's some news that's come out in favor of the Lions. Let's get into the article and we can talk more about this on the other side. This is from Pride of Detroit. It says, the Detroit Lions held their second practice of week 1 on Thursday as they prepared to take on the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football. Despite having as many as 15 players dealing with injuries at the end of training camp, the Lions have managed their rehabilitation well, and the majority of players have returned to practice this week. The Rams weren't as lucky on Thursday as they ended up having to place one of their starting cornerbacks on the IR, and their backup is nursing a hamstring injury. In an interesting twist, after it was announced that the Rams were making this move, there was a change in the betting line for the game. According to the folks over at the betting line, is now Lions minus 4.5 points, an increase from minus 3.5 to start the week. I think this is really showing good things for the Lions. I'm glad that all of their players are back healthy, ready to go. But these injuries for the Rams, they could be significant, Nick. I'm curious what your thoughts on these are. But before we get to you, Nick, Lions fans, in the comment section below, first game of the season, how you feeling about the team? Are they going to start strong, maybe a little bit slow, get off to a faster start more down the stretch? Let us know, what do you think the final score of this game is going to be in the comment section below. Lions versus Rams. Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, nonetheless, what are your thoughts on this story?
Yeah, first and foremost, a quick correction. That was a weird translation. This is the odds are from FanDuel Sportsbook. I don't know how it didn't make it on the poll report there, but again, we're seeing the odds shift dramatically in the Lions' favor. 1 point in the NFL is a significant margin, right? In terms of the odds, in terms of the line setting. This opened up at about a 3.5 point Lions advantage, has now moved to 4.5. And this is on the heels, of course, earlier this week, Jahmyr Gibbs looking good. Dan Campbell had some nice things to say. We'll have to see how much he plays, what his situation looks like come Sunday night. But it's very clear, one thing is undeniable. The Lions are heading into this game with a lot of momentum in terms of getting all of their players, or at least most of their core players, on the field, ready to go, ready to get off the season off to a strong start, while the Rams seem to be going the other direction. And again, we all know it. This is a Lions championship potential season. In order to do that, you need to get off to a really strong start. We know the San Francisco 49ers are going to be vying for the #1 seed in the NFC yet again. Getting home field advantage and, of course, winning that division is absolutely critical for the Lions. We know the numbers with Jared Goff, how good he is in a dome versus outside of a dome. Getting as many home playoff games would be absolutely massive. And starting with a big victory over what a lot of people think is a really good team, a playoff team in the Los Angeles Rams, is exactly what the Lions need to get this momentum going, especially in a tough NFC North. It's going to be a dogfight for most of the season. I still think the Lions are the favorite, but they can't afford too many slip ups. And this is a great opportunity for them to get a big win over a depleted Los Angeles Rams squad. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Sean McVay, of course, is incredibly intelligent. They've got a lot of star power. Matthew Stafford is still Matthew Stafford. But again, these early season matchups, people kind of discount them a little bit. When it comes to playoff intra-conference matchups, they matter for tiebreakers. They matter for seeding just as much as a Week 18 matchup was. It all counts the same. This is a pivotal game for Detroit. I like them at home, especially with the injury issues that the Rams are having. I think it's going to be a battle, but I trust the Lions a little bit more, and I think they start the season off 1-0.
Yeah, Nick, and I think when you look at where the injuries are for the Rams, I think this is going to be beneficial for the Lions, and the fact that this is a team, like you alluded to, Jahmyr Gibbs earlier this week talked about he's looking 100%. He said himself 98 to 100%, so about as good as you're ever going to be as an NFL player. I don't think you get much better than that. You got Sam Laporte out there. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is an offense primed, ready to go in the passing department. There's some big plays to be had there. So being depleted in the secondary is really good for the Lions as far as the Rams being depleted in the secondary. This is going to help them out because if we're honest, the Rams, they've got a lot of dudes on their offensive side of the ball. This could, be a little bit of a shootout if it gets into a scoring match. And for the Lions to have it a little bit easier, I think that is good for them. But also another aspect of this Rams defense, a lot of rookies, a lot of young guys on this Rams defense, which could be beneficial for the Lions as well in their first meeting. There may be a little hesitancy, maybe, a little bit unsureness. So I think overall the Lions are looking really good in this matchup versus the Rams.
Well, I'm going to throw another corollary at you there too, is that the Lions also have some key young guys and new additions, namely a guy like Terrion Arnold starting and playing his first NFL game against a very good Rams receiving core. So again, I kind of like where you're heading at with the shootout. I think there's a real chance that this game ends up being 34-27, 35-31. I think it's very realistic. And if that's the case, you'd rather be the Lions with a healthier secondary than the Los Angeles Rams. Again, that's why the odds makers have them as 4.5 point favorites. I wouldn't be surprised if it moves even further in the Lions' direction. I think it's a close game, but like I said, I think the Lions start strong and start the season off right here.